Alright y'all, so I got a little bit of a story to tell. And the story is kind of sad, it's confusing, but it's funny at the same time, okay? And I'm pretty sure that if you spent enough time in the gym, you can relate to this. Now, I'm in the gym this morning to train. Doing my thing, going hard, lifting some decently heavy weight, right? There's this guy in the gym. He gotta be like 6'2" or 6'3", right? Wide shoulders, broad, big guy. He's standing on a Bosu ball on one leg, and he's got 15-pound dumbbells. And he's doing these 15-pound dumbbell curls. But while he's doing them, he's breathing really hard. He's dripping sweat, and he's trembling and shaking and whatnot, trying to maintain his balance, right? And then he goes from the bicep curls with the 15-pound dumbbells to the overhead presses with the 15-pound dumbbells, right? He's giving it all he's got. He's working his ass off. Working his ass off, but for all the wrong reasons, right? Because just because something's hard to do doesn't mean you should be doing it, right? Now, the reason why this was sad is because I was just thinking, he's working so hard. And he could be doing something that's so much better with his time. The confusing part was, where did he get the idea to think that this was going to work? Like, this was a good idea. And the thing that made it funny was obviously how he looked doing it. And obviously, if he's sweating real hard, he's dripping sweat and stuff, and he's breathing super heavy, obviously this isn't the only thing he's been doing. He's probably been doing a whole bunch of other stuff. Battle ropes and sprinting on the treadmill and burpees or whatever, right? Just doing stuff just to be sweating, probably trying to burn some extra, belly fat or something like that, right? And so that gave me the idea to do this video. And I'm thinking, you know what I really got to talk about with you guys? I really got to talk about exercise selection and exercise variation. Now I'm gonna go point by point and try to explain this in the simplest way that I can, but give you enough of an explanation where you can get a really, really clear understanding about what to do going forward in the gym. Now, point number one is this: keep it simple. Because I'm willing to guarantee you that you don't need to do as much as you think you do. Right? Keep it simple. Choose a handful of things and work on getting really good at those things. And so let me give you an example. Let's say you're trying to learn how to back squat, front squat, and overhead squat in the same program. Okay? Your focus is going to be so diluted that you're not really going to get much good at any of those things, because your attention, your focus is just way too spread out. So you could back squat on Monday, then front squat on Wednesday, and then overhead squat on Friday. But you're only doing these things, you're only getting to develop the technique in these things once a week. Now what you could do is you could just say, you know what, I'm going to learn the back squat, and I'm going to back squat Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Guess what? You'll make 3 times the gains with the back squat. You'll be able to get much better at squatting. You'll be able to develop much more strength. You'll be able to put way more weight on the bar. You'll be able to put way more tension on the muscle. You'll just get way more growth doing that. And you'll be much less likely to fry your nervous system and get frustrated from missing lifts and all that type of stuff. Keep it simple, right? And what this allows you to do as well is it'll allow you to track your progress much more accurately, because you don't have to track the progress of so many different things at one time. You see what I'm saying? So you choose a handful of things, you get really good at those things, you get all the results that you can out of those things, maximize the opportunity there, and then move on to different things when you've gotten everything that you can get out of the things that you chose initially. Now, when choosing your exercises, you want to think about 3 things. You want to think about how much time you have to train. You want to think about what your body responds to the most, and you want to think about what weaknesses and or injuries you have. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first one, which is time. Now, let's say you have 45 to 60 minutes to train, and you got 3 to 4 days a week to get that training done. Now, whatever exercise you decide to choose, that exercise wants to do a couple things. Number one, how much capacity for strength can I develop using this exercise? And then number two, how many muscles does this exercise target, directly and indirectly? So I give you an example. Now, you can either do a barbell squat or you can do leg extensions. If you can only choose between one, which would you choose? Now, according to the two metrics I just gave you, you would say the barbell squat. Because both exercises build your quadriceps, but only one of them builds everything else. Right? Like your glutes and your hamstrings and core strength and overall body strength and, the ability to tolerate a compressive load on your body, all kinds of stuff, right? So the squat, that barbell squat, you'd be getting the most bang for your buck. And so that's an example of how you would choose which exercise to do, primarily. Now, number two is, what does your body respond to the most? And so you really don't need to make any changes unless you need to make changes, because the thing you were doing, you are now no longer responding to. Right? If you're doing dumbbell chest press and that's getting you amazing results, keep doing that, right? But once you see, hey, I'm not getting any stronger doing dumbbell presses, then maybe go and switch to barbell presses, as an example, right? Do what you're responding to. Get all the gains from doing that thing and only make changes when you need to. Because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Now, if you're just starting out, you don't really know what you respond to, you're brand new, like you look in the mirror and you can see like your ribs through your chest. Well, then go to the basics, right? You want to develop your legs? Squat. You want to develop your chest? Bench press. You want to develop a back, glutes and hamstrings? Do deadlifts, right? You want to develop wide lats? Do pull-ups or rows. Things like that. Stick to the basics, right? The big compound lifts. And then just do those all week long and try to get as strong in those as possible. That's a good place to start. Weaknesses and injuries. Now, in order to spot your weaknesses, you got to have a keen eye for certain things. So this may require some coaching, right? For somebody else to take a look and be able to see what your problem is, right? Injuries is a lot easier to identify, right? It's wherever the pain is, right? But as far as weaknesses is concerned, you'd have to look at things like sticking points, posture, and your overall mechanics of how you move. So I'll give you a couple examples, right? Let's say your posture is like this. Your shoulders are up a lot. Your shoulders are very high. This is your posture ordinarily. Now your shoulders are supposed to be down, and you're supposed to have this kind of posture here. But if you're like this and the shoulder and the neck is like this is going to cause you problems. It's going to cause you problems in your shoulders when you go to bench press because you're doing all of this, and if you're rowing and doing all of this stuff here, right? This is going to cause you a very imbalanced physique. So you got to drop those shoulders and bring the neck back. So this, if you have this posture, this will dictate exercise selection. So let's say we're doing back, right? You want to build your lats. Now, rows like barbell rows or dumbbell rows are great for building your lats, but here's the problem. If your shoulders are up here, that means that the muscles underneath don't get the ability to contract, right? Because your lats pull your shoulders down. But if your shoulders are always up, it's because your traps are overactive and your lats are weak. So you can be doing rows and just working on your traps, doing rows. No good, because it just makes the posture worse. So rather than doing rows, you may want to do lat pull downs, where you lean back slightly on an angle and you pull the bar all the way down to your clavicle. And so what happens is, if you're doing like, let's say a lat pull down, in order for you to get that bar to your chest, you would have to stick your chest out, arch your back a little bit, and bring that bar to your chest. See? And now you can get a squeeze in your lats. So if you're like this, you may want to stop doing seated cable rows and dumbbell rows and stuff like that and start doing more of a vertical pull, pulling and literally touching your chest. And so what happens, that's going to force you to activate all the muscles in the middle of your back and activate your lats more so to pull those shoulders down and give those traps a break. Okay, so that would be an example there. Now let's say you're squatting and you got really good mobility. You can get all the way down in the hole when you squat. You can sit on your calves, right? You can sit in that bottom position all day long. But when you come up, once you hit slightly above parallel, let's say you stick, and then it's a real grind to stand all the way up after that. That point where that grind starts, that's a sticking point. So now if you can get all the way in the bottom position and stand up, no problem, but then get stuck at parallel, your glutes are probably fine and they're strong enough. Your glutes and your hamstrings and everything and the muscles in your hips are strong enough to get you up to parallel, but your quadriceps may be weak. So maybe you'd want to do sumo squats where you only squat till parallel, and then once you hit parallel, you come back up. So you may have to change your squat depth. You may not even have to change the exercise. You may just have to change the way you do the exercise. See, in order to work on that sticking point. And so those are just a couple exercises there. Now injuries, let's say you have a spinal herniation and you can't do back squats or front squats or whatever. You can't do those kind of exercises because you have a fear of jacking your back up, and rightfully so. So you can swap out that back squat for a leg press. And being that the leg press is mostly knee dominant, where there's mostly knee flexion and knee extension and there's not full extension of the hips, you may want to supplement that with something like hip bridges, because if your back's messed up, you may not really want to deadlift. So instead of squatting and deadlifting, you may do leg press and hip bridges and leg curls. And you do those things to build up the musculature in your legs while you do rehabilitative exercises and whatnot in order to fix your back. So this is just a few ways of how you would determine exercise selection in that regard. Now, particularly what I do when I put together a program is I'll put together each training day with 6 exercises. And this pretty much takes 45 to 60 minutes to get done. So I'll give you an example of an upper-lower split. And for those of you who don't know what an upper-lower split is, it's basically where you have an upper body workout and a lower body workout, right? So you do upper, lower, rest, and then upper and lower again, and then rest on the weekend. So you got 4 training days and 3 rest days, right? So let's say for upper body, we got barbell bench press, we got dumbbell overhead press, like an Arnold press or something like that, and then you have barbell hang rows, and then pull-ups or weighted pull-ups or lat pull-down. And then you have weighted dips and bicep curls, or just dips without weight, right? And so that's a pretty solid upper body workout. Now for the lower body day, we got a barbell squat. It can be a back squat or a front squat, right? Whatever you choose. Barbell deadlift, Romanian deadlift, or a conventional deadlift, or even a sumo deadlift. And then we got either walking lunges or Bulgarian split squat, which is my personal favorite. And then prone leg curls or even seated leg curls. And then 2 core exercises. One can be weighted sit-ups or hanging leg raises. And then the next one can be some type of spinal pivoting, like a cable wood chop. And that's your core workout right there. And so what this looks like is you have upper body where you're pushing and pulling and doing arms, and then the leg day where you're basically squatting and hinging. One accessory exercise to isolate the hamstrings, because with the hamstrings do 2 things. Hamstrings extend the hip, and hamstrings also flex the knee. So in order to really hit your hamstrings, you got to both focus on hip extension and hip hinging, and also focus on knee flexion. So those 4 exercises and you're done. 2 exercises that are quad dominant, 2 exercises that are hamstring dominant, and then 2 core exercises where you focus on your abs and your obliques. It's really that simple. And so a workout like this puts extra priority on things like shoulders and back, and a little extra priority on arms, as well as glutes, right? Because you're hitting your glutes in the squat and you're hitting your glutes in the deadlift. And then there's that extra priority with doing 2 ab exercises as well. So this is a good type of program that you can run. This is good exercise selection if you're really trying to build an ideal physique 4 days a week and build a good amount of strength on top of that. Now, there's many different types of variations. Let's say on your lower body day, let's say you were fine with how your core was, you like how your core looks, but there's certain other things that you want to focus on. Like ladies, let's say you want to build a nice juicy bubble butt, right? So you'd swap out one of the ab exercises and you might put in hip bridges. So you would do the squat, the deadlift, then the lunge or the Bulgarian split squat, then the hip bridges, or like barbell hip bridges, and then leg curls. And then your favorite ab exercise, and you're done. And then you can run that kind of split for 4 to 6 weeks and see what type of results you get. And if you like the results from doing that, keep doing it. Because if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Keep doing it until that progress starts to slow down. And then once you're not really getting that much of a return on it, switch and do something else. And this is pretty much how the game works as far as exercise selection, variation, and ultimately putting together a program that works for you.